Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be making a video on the upcoming quest Song of the Elves, some things to do to prepare for the quest, and some of the rewards that are going to be coming with the quest. It's less than a week away from the time I'm making this video. The release date for Song of the Elves is July 25th. So what is Song of the Elves? Song of the Elves is a new Grand Master quest that is going to finish off the Elf storyline. The Elf storyline consists of quests like the Underground Pass, Regicide, Roving Elves, Morning's End Part 1 and Part 2. And the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the Rex. That is pretty much the biggest main thing that we know about that you can do to prepare for the upcoming quest. You want to make sure you have all these requirements so that you can do it day one, have it done really quick, take advantage of all the rewards while they're still new and the most profitable. That is always the most profitable time for bosses and new things that come out is first day of release. If you can be one of the very first people done with the quest, sometimes you can get your hands on new items and sell them for a lot more than they're actually worth. So the quest requirements, first up is making history. This is a pretty easy and simple low-level quest. Next up is Morning's End Part 2. This has quite a few prereqs, so that one is a bit harder to get done. Initially they said that Fairy Tale Part 2 was going to be required, which would make it so that pures can't do this quest, but they changed that, so that is no longer required, and 1 defense pures can do this quest now. So the skill requirements, as far as I've seen, you cannot boost for these requirements. It's pretty much all just level 70 stats, so you need level 70 in agility, construction, farming, herblore, hunter, mining, smithing, and woodcutting. And for some people, those might look like some pretty high requirements, but they're really not that hard to get. I'm going to go over some methods to get those stats pretty quickly. So first we have agility. This isn't unbuyable, so this one's going to be probably the longest one out of all these skills. Really no shortcut through this one. Starting off at level 40 to 47, you want to use the Canifis course. That should take about 1.9 hours. Then from 47 to 60 or until 55, you want to do the Wilderness course. From 47 to 60, that will take about 4.4 hours. 60 to 70 Sears course, that should take 10.2 hours or 8.2 if you have the hard diary done, so you can teleport to the bank. And then another option is a Werewolf course from 55 to 70. I've never really done that course myself, but that is the new meta, I think, starting at level 55. The Werewolf course is more click intensive, so if you're looking for a little bit more relaxed agility, I wouldn't pick the Werewolf course. For construction, from 33 to 52, you want to do oak larders. Then from 52 to 70, you can either choose to do mahogany tables or just continue doing oak larders. There are a few other teak options, but not getting into that stuff. Between these two, 52 to 70 on oak larders, it'd be about 1.8 hours. It costs 4.5 mil. 52 to 70 on mahogany tables, that's 0.7 hours, and it would cost 8.7 mil. So you'd be saving about 4 mil doing the oak, and you'd only spend an extra hour. So if you can make 4 mil or more an hour, then you'd want to go with mahogany. Otherwise, you want to do oak. So next up is herblore. If you're rich and you got a lot of money, pretty much just make the best potion you can, best common potion. So 45 super attack, 52 super energy, 55 super strength, 63 super restore, 66 super defense, and 69 anti-fire. If you're a bit more short on cash, OS Buddy does have a sheet that shows you the GP per XP for each of the potions, and you kind of want to look at that to see which potion is best to make, which is cheapest, and also weigh in how much the XP is. But right now it looks like most potions are pretty expensive. You're probably going to be looking at least 6 mil loss to go from 50 to 70. Next up, farming. This is an extremely easy skill. If you haven't ever done tree runs, make sure to look up a guide on tree runs, because farming is really not a hard skill if you've never done it before. What you want to do is tree runs, fruit trees, and regular trees. It will get your farming level up really quick, and most tree seeds right now are actually pretty cheap up until you hit U. So you basically just want to do the best trees and fruit trees you can. If you're a little bit shorter on cash, you want to stop your regular trees at maples. Don't do U's or magic trees, just do maples once you can do those. And then fruit trees, just do up to papayas if you don't have much money. So next up is hunter. It's been a while since I've done hunter, so forgive me if these aren't exactly right, but this should be pretty close. So 43 to 56, you want to do falconry, and that should take about 2.7 hours. 56 to 64 Red Sally's, that should be about 2.7 hours, and you want to make sure you bring a Hunter Potion at 56 because they require 59, so you're going to be boosting from 56 up to 59. Then Black Sally's from 64 to 70. Once again, you're going to be using Hunter Potions to boost you up to the requirement at those early levels. So Black Sally's from 64 to 70 should take about 3.3 hours. Then for mining, you have a few options. The first option is Motherlode from 30 all the way up to 70. That is going to be the longest option. It is fairly AFK and you do make a bit of money, but it is much longer. So that's going to take about 36 hours. Whereas you could do 30 to 60 with 3-tick iron, and that's only going to take 3.7 hours. So 1/10 the time, but all of that is only to 60, but that is a lot faster. And then you could do 60 to 70 the Mining Guild Iron, which is basically the same speed as 3-tick iron, and that is 6.2 hours. If you don't want a 3-tick, you could still do 30 to 60 just regularly mining iron, and that would take about 5.4 hours. So we're on to the two final skills. First up, smithing. I would recommend you do 40 to 70 on gold bars with goldsmithing gauntlets at the blast furnace. So that would only take 2.3 hours. You would lose about 3.5 mil, but it's definitely worth it with how much time you save. An option that I would definitely not recommend, but I see people doing all the time, is making dart tips or making bolts at the anvil. And that is a very bad method to use. So to 40 to 70, using the best dart tips you can make, that would probably take about 15 hours, and you might make like 1 mil. If you want a profitable method, you don't want to do gold bars because you don't want to lose money. You need money to fund the other skills. A middle ground is blast furnace, doing like steel bars and mithril bars. So 40 to 50 on blast furnace steel bars, that would take about 0.86 hours, and you would make about 400k. 50 to 70 on mithril bars at the blast furnace, that would take about 4.3 hours, and you'd make about 2.5 mil. So that's definitely the way to go if you don't want to spend money. Then for wood cutting, there isn't really too many options I would recommend. Just do teak. Either you can AFK teak, then that will take quite a bit longer, 35 to 70 on teak AFKing. It's about 14.3 hours. You can also do 35 to 70 doing 2-tick teaks, and that will take a lot less time, probably like 5.6 hours. And there's guides for all of this stuff. So if you don't know how to 2-tick teak, just type that in YouTube and a video will come up and it will explain it in detail. So next up, let's jump into the potentially useful items that you can buy beforehand or obtain or access beforehand. These items have already been going up in price for the last few months at this point, so maybe you want to wait until after the quest to buy these things after they've crashed. We've known that a lot of these items are going to be useful for months, so many people, including myself, have already invested in some of these items. So I'm telling you right now, don't buy these until after the quest if you don't want to potentially lose some money. That doesn't change, that they will most likely be helpful, so it will be nice to have them beforehand. So we know it's an elf quest. It's going to probably take place up near the elf area, so you probably want transportation up there. You can buy elf camp teleports. You can buy necklaces of passage that teleport you up pretty close as well. There's the tiny elf crystal you get from Morning's End Part 1. The fairy ring over by Zora, Zolandra teleports. So having a way to get to the elf place quickly is something that will probably be pretty helpful in getting the quest done quick. Then there is going to be a skilling boss. So that skilling boss is said to be a mining, smithing, and runecrafting boss. You're going to be using a pickaxe there, so it's pretty likely and logical that you're going to want to bring the best pickaxe that you can use. You can also take damage there. It's not going to be like Wintertod where it's scaled to your HP, and I'm pretty sure your defense bonus will matter, so having some good armor and some good potions and food will probably be pretty helpful there. Next, there's going to be some new implinks, crystal imps, so you want to have a magic butterfly net in your bank if you want to catch those, if you can't catch them barehanded. It's level 90 hunter to catch them barehanded, level 80 with a net. And then there's going to be a new crystal tree patch. You're actually going to be able to transform what is currently called crystal seeds, what you use to turn into crystal bows and armor and weapons and stuff. You're going to be able to exchange those for crystal acorns, which you can then use to grow crystal trees, which will be one of the methods that you use to obtain the untradeable crystal shards. So it would also be useful to get some high levels and some skills beforehand as well. We've already went over what is required, but it would be useful to have even higher in some skills. So the skilling boss is going to use mining, smithing, and rune crafting from what I've seen. It could use more, but I think it's pretty likely that the higher you are in those 3 skills, the more profitable and better the skilling boss is going to be for you. Then there's another PVM challenge that's coming with the end of the quest, which is called the Gauntlet. It is solo, and you take no items or anything inside. You get everything that you need from within. So you're going to be using your gathering skills like mining, woodcutting, and fishing to complete it. So having high woodcutting, high mining, high fishing, and high combat is probably going to be pretty useful for the Gauntlet. There's going to be a new agility course. It requires 75 agility. There's going to be a new crystal trees, which require 74 farming. Having the herblore level required to make some of the new divine potions could be profitable for like the first day when they're new. Actually, potentially it could be profitable further out because the potions actually don't give too much XP. So people aren't going to be making them for XP. The only reason why you would make them is for money. And then there's going to be new crystal implings, which require 80 hunter if you have a net. So that is pretty much it for this video. I don't want to go too much into the rewards. I've already made a video on the rewards, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure other people have. I will link down in the description videos on the rewards if you want more details on that sort of stuff. This video is just more about getting the skills, getting all the requirements, stuff that you can buy beforehand, skills that you should be getting beforehand, just stuff to prepare for the coming quest. So make sure to check the description, like the video, leave a comment. What are you looking forward to most with the quest? Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.